one night that we live tonight. Let's ride till we're out of sight. So far, so they'd never find out our halo.
What is going on, dudes? My name is Coach Kansas City Nidokings, and today we have our IBL Week 8 match versus Chime and the Gaia Gardevoirs. So he's currently the reigning champ in the league, and hopefully we can pick up a win today. He's 3-4 currently. We are 4-3 after last week's loss to brackets, which I easily could have won the game. I don't remember exactly what play it was that I should have made, but it's too late to, I don't even remember. But anyways, I'm going to go over the team that I built for him, and I'm going to go over his team. So he's got Keldeo, Heatran, Gliscor, Kyurem, Porygon 2, Aselgor, Azelf, Tapu Bulu, Hitmonchan, Armaldo, and Raichu. So he's got a pretty threatening team. Many good Pokemon. Keldeo is a very good sweeping Pokemon. Heatran is difficult to deal with. It's got a good typing, except it gets destroyed by ground type moves. Gliscor is a very good defensive Pokemon. Kyurem is fairly quick and has a decent typing in Ice Dragon, and it could be very difficult to deal with when it comes to like if he scarfs it or whatever. Porygon is a great defensive Pokemon. It's so frustrating that it's because it's so good. Aselgor is a very fast bug type. He hasn't brought out once this season though, so we may not have to worry about that. Azelf, I had that last season in the DBL. It's a pretty good Pokemon. It's got a very good move pool. It's very good offensively, and it's very fast. Tapu Bulu, one of the new Pokemon, 4 times weak to poison, but is also has a great typing, and it has that grassy terrain which gives health back. Hitmonchan, I believe, is a rapid spinner, so he's got that, and I think that might be his only hazard removal option. He's got Armaldo, which is a fairly bulky bug rock type that can get up stealth rocks and may get rapid spin. I'm pretty sure it does, in all honesty. And then Raichu, very quick electric type. Electric typing is good defensively because it's only got the one weakness. And sorry if you heard the snap my DS because I was just laying it up, and the hinge over here is kind of messed up. I don't know how that happened. It just, like, that piece broke off one day. So, anyways, yes, so I'm going to be going over the team that I built for him. And, yeah, so starting off, we once again have Hazel the Mew, Medium Z, Psychic, Ice Beam, Earth Power, Flamethrower. It's pretty understandable why I brought this guy again, because of its amazing coverage options. I'm able to outspeed most of his team. Let's see, I built this thing to outspeed. It was either, I'm pretty sure it's max speed Gliscor or Kyurem, because those are base 85, and those are the fastest that I can outspeed. And all the rest of them, I have no chance to outspeed, so that's why I built it like that. I put the rest in special defense, maybe hoping I can live an attack against that, the Aselgor or something like that, for whatever reason. And I decided to max out a special attack and give it a timid nature, mainly timid, so I was able to put less in speed, because I'm not sure if I put this thing at modest, if I was able to get up to 162 with the amount of EVs that I have here. So yeah, I wouldn't have been able to get up to that. So and that outspeeds by 1 point. Anyway, Psychic overall is really good against his team. He has no dark types, so it hits everything but Heatran for neutral. So it's really good, actually. Psychic hits his entire team, and it's a very safe play for me to make. Ice Beam really hits that Gliscor super hard. It also hit Tapu Bulu, which is pretty nice. Earth Power obliterates Heatran, and, let's see, what else does it really do? I don't know. Azelf obviously avoids it, and Gliscor, because of being a flying type. But it hits everything else, I think, at least for neutral. Except for Aselgor and Bulu. So overall, it does very nicely against his team, Earth Power. And Flamethrower is for his bug and grass types. He's got the Bulu and the Aselgor. It hits Kyurem for neutral, and I guess that's really it. In all honesty, it may have been better to bring like a fighting type move on Mew this week, but oh well, too bad, so sad. Anyways, I already went over the EV, so that is Hazel for us. Next up is a new addition to the squad. If you remember, I hinted at it in episode 15, I'm pretty sure, of the Wonder Wedlock. We have Phantom, the Gengar. Phantom is literally French for ghost, so that's why I wanted to do that for his name. But anyways, point is, I wanted to add this thing because I wanted some more speed on the squad. Ghost Poison is a very nice typing, and it should help overall when it comes to this matchup. We have Curse of Body, who's obviously Levitate, is not on this Pokemon anymore. I decided to go Life Orb this week. Well, I haven't brought it before. I decided to go Life Orb because this thing hits super freaking hard with the Life Orb. It already hits hard because it's a very good Pokemon in general. A Shadow Ball works well against his entire team. I don't believe he has any resistances except for Porygon being immune to it. Otherwise, I always say Shadow. Ghost hits everything on his team. Okay, and Shadow, or Sludge Wave is really for Tapu Bulu. It just obliterates Tapu Bulu. Hits decently on that Porygon, which is the thing I brought it for. Actually, I brought Focus Blast more so for that. I also brought it for Heatran. It hits that thing pretty hard too. Psychic is, overall, as I explained, he's only got one resistance, Psychic being Heatran, and it hits everything else, at least for neutral. So Psychic overall is a very good good move to have on this team. Focus Blast, as I said, hits Heatran, and the whatever frickin', why am I forgetting its name? It's right there, Porygon 2, Air 4-4. But Sludge Wave is mainly for Blue, and it's a very nice stab move, so it can be used against everything but Heatran. Gliscor Gliscor and Armaldo will both take it very well, but it'll hit both of them at the very least. So yeah, we're rocking max special attack and max speed with a timid nature, so I make sure I outspeed. I could have probably sped-crept. I should have sped-crept the Keldeo, but I didn't end up doing that. I don't know if Azel's base 115, so I wouldn't outspeed that. Raichu, that's why I did it, because it speed ties with Raichu. So, pretty cool stuff, and I outspeed Keldeo by default. Anyways, there we go. That is Phantom for us. Next up, we have Kitty D. I like to Devour with an Assault Vest this week. With Motor Drive, Ice Punch, Cross Chop, Earthquake, Wild Charge. So I'm running Motor Drive instead of anything else, really. Because of that Raichu, because he could have a Volt-switching Raichu. He doesn't have anything that really threatens when it comes to Spore, so I don't really need to worry too much about that. Assault Vest so I can take some special hits. Heatran's probably going to be an Earth Power set if I had to guess. Kyurem gets Earth Power, but I'm pretty sure I could live on it if it wasn't Specs. I did calc that. I'm pretty sure that I calc that I can live in Earth Power from Kyurem without... if I didn't have Specs. Anyways, I'm pretty sure Earthquake still demolishes me from most everything, because this thing's terrible special defense stat. But anyways, I have Ice Punch here, because Ice hits really well. It does a lot of damage to Gliscor. I don't know if it'll two-shot it, but it also hit Tapu Bulu, which is very nice. And yeah, and I have that chance to freeze. Cross Chop for Porygon 2 and Heatran, because both those are kind of issues. Earthquake obliterates Heatran, hits most of his team, as I already mentioned, except for Azelf and Gliscor, and hits everything else for neutral, so except for Tapu Bulu and Isilgor, but Isilgor doesn't want to take it anyway. And yeah, Wild Charge is just a good stab move. The only thing that is immune to it is that Gliscor, so it hits everything else, at least for neutral, I'm pretty sure. Well, not at least for neutral. Tapu Bulu resists it, and Raichu resists it, but everything else does it. So overall, this thing is pretty good. I was thinking about running a Scarf Set on this guy, but I decided, I was talking with Brendan, and he suggested not running a Scarf. So I decided, you know what, we're not gonna run a Scarf, because having the Assault Vest allows me to live hits better from Pokemon. But the thing is, like, I can outspeed Kyurem if he's not max speed. Because he said the way Chime typically plays, Kyurem most likely will not be a max speed set, so we can always hope. I guess we'll see what happens. I'm running Adamant anyway, so I can do more damage, but pretty sure with the Assault Vest, maybe even with Specs, I can live one attack from, one Earth Power from the Kyurem, so pretty cool stuff. Next up, we have Camilla, the Haxorus. I don't think she came last week. I could be wrong, but I don't remember if she did. Anyways, we're running a Scarf set. This one I decided to go Scarf with because he's got some fast Pokemon. I should have Sped-crept again. Well, actually, what would I Sped-crept? Scarf Kyurem. That's what I would have Scarf. Doesn't matter. I'm glad I ran an Adamant at the very least. So Scarf Adamant. This thing will hit extremely hard against his entire team because he's got moves that hit everything on his team. I decided to go... We didn't end up going with Dragon Claw. I mean, Dragon Claw does hit everything, at least for neutral, except for the Heatran and the Bulu. But for that specific reason, I didn't really need Dragon because he doesn't have a Dragon. He has the one Dragon type on his team, and Kyurem can pretty much one-shot Camilla. But yeah, I have Superpower, because Superpower should, like, obliterate Kyurem. Rock Slide hits decently on... What did I bring that for? It hits Armaldo and Isilgor, and that might have been it. I mean, Kyurem too, and it hits Heatran and Gliscor for neutral, so there's that. Earthquake is really for Heatran, and it also does a ton of damage to... was that it? Was that it all Earthquake did? Earthquake hits well against his entire team. That was the reason I brought it. And it's also very good against Heatran, which Heatran can kind of sit in sort of on Camilla, except for the Earthquake part, because Heatran overall has a better move pool compared... Well, not really. You know what I mean. it would do better against Haxorus than Haxorus could do to it without Earthquakes. Anyways, Poison Jab is mainly for the Tapu Bulu. I already mentioned that. I don't think it really does much to anything else. And yeah, so that is Camilla Force of Rocky, max physical attack and max special, or max speed with a Jolly, or not Jolly, Adamant Nature and 4 in special defense. Hopefully so that can allow me to live 1 hit or something like that special-wise. Yeah, that is Camilla Force. Next up we have Kate Upton, the Milotic, who is one of my MVPs this season. She's done so well, and it has helped that she's gotten like 5 kills in the last 2 matches. So that's pretty darn good for a Pokemon that's not even a sweeper. Anyways, is it the last 2? Yeah, because I won against Thomas, and then I lost against Brackets. I'm pretty sure that's how that went. Or I played, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. I don't remember who I played last week. That's okay. Anyways, we're going Lefties, Marvel Skill, Ice Beam, Skull, Recover, and Haze set. It's very similar, except Haze and Toxic are the ones that kind of... Haze, that 4th move slot, is the one that rotates when it comes to Milotic, but we're rocking a good physically defensive set, so this thing can take hits. He's got good physical attackers such as Gliscor. He's got Bulu, which hits super hard. I don't know how much that a Wood Hammer will do to Kate Upton. I'm positive it will not one-shot, though. So it does pretty decent damage. This thing does not want to sit in against Raichu. I can sit in very decently against Keldeo. If I can get a burn off of that, that'd be nice, because Keldeo can be either physical or special. This thing can match up super well against Heatran. Does a ton of damage to Gliscor. Kyurem can't really do too much to this thing. I mean, especially can hit it kind of hard, but otherwise, there's not much else I can do. And if I end up getting, like, a Toxic or something like that from one of his stallers, such as Porygon or something like that, then this thing is absurdly physically defensive. Pretty cool stuff, and that I'm pretty sure that's about it. Obviously, Ice Beam hits Gliscor. It hits the Tapu Bulu. Scald hits most of his team for at least neutral. And yeah, I can get some burn on some physical attackers, or maybe like I prefer Toxic for like Porygon too, but I don't have Toxic on the set because I'd rather have these 4 moves. Alright, I went over the OV. I already went over the EV, so there's Kate Upton for us. And finally, making the first appearance in a couple weeks is Brainchild, the Uxie, my special wall this week, with leftovers, Psychic U-Turn, Knockoff, and Stealth Rock. So, I really wanted to run Psychic, as I already explained, is, Psychic overall just hits his team very nicely. U-Turn hits that Azelf, which is really the only thing that resists the Psychic. The Knockoff will hit Heatran for neutral as well, which is the other thing that resists Psychic, so pretty cool stuff. And I also get on my Stealth Rock so I can get some chip damage on that, like, Thingermaldo. Kyurem, it does a lot to Kyurem, and that's probably the main reason, because obviously he has to bring Hitmonchan or a Maldo in order to spin, but neither of those match up super well against my entire team. Kate Upton really matches up well against our Maldo and Hitmonchan. Even Thunder Punch from Hitmonchan shouldn't do too much. Anyways, that is pretty much it. Move-wise, we're rocking 228 in HP, so I can be kind of bulky. I'm running 44 in both attack stats, so I can hit a little harder, but Psychic U-Turn and Knockoff. I put 180 in special defense. I was actually going to put 192, but that 4 didn't actually make any more difference in speed, so I put it in defense. So this thing's a little more bulky all around. But this thing is definitely overall my special wall, because it can take the special hits better from his big special attackers. And I can obviously avoid that, the Earth Power with Levitate. So anyways, that is the team we're bringing for Chime, so really hope you enjoyed it. If you look appreciated, I don't believe he has a channel. If he does, I'll link it in the description below. But, yeah, I mean, he's obviously a pretty decent player because he won the last championship. I don't remember who won the IBL AL. It might have been Thomas, who we played earlier this season. But, you know what? That doesn't matter. I'm excited for this match. Hopefully we can do well. And I think I built a pretty decent team. So anyways, thank you most. Just really hope you enjoyed it. If you look appreciated, subscribe for more. Let's go.